Story time on how me and my best friend was pregnant by the exact same man at the exact same time.
The story I'm about to get into right now is absolutely insane, and the only reason I'm even giving this any level of notoriety, a spotlight, is because I believe there is a lot we can take away from this, right? That is the only reason I will ever bring this level of dysfunction and ratchetness to the front of the congregation. So that being said, let's just get right into it, and then I'm going to give my 2.5 cents off of this, because we can't just settle with 2 cents this time. We need another half to correct some of these measures. So that being said, let's get into it. Hold up, sis. Okay.
Story time on how me and my best friend was pregnant by the exact same man at the exact same time, and I never knew until she had a secret baby shower. I was dating this dude for like 3 years. Me and my best friend have been best friends for way before that, like 10 plus years. We end up getting pregnant at the exact same time, and she ends up coming up with the story like she had a one night stand. She don't know who her baby daddy is. Whatever. We both go through our pregnancy. We're so excited we found out at the same time. It's getting closer to like our 6th month, and it's time to start planning our baby shower. So at the 6th month mark, when we start planning our baby shower, she's like, I'm just not gonna have no baby shower. I've just been going through it mentally, emotionally. So we got the same baby daddy. Our mutual friends was like, oh, are you going to the baby shower? She told me she wasn't having a baby shower. I pop up at the baby shower. Guess who at the baby shower cheesing? As soon as I walk in, I make eye contact with her, and she just everybody look like they seen a ghost. I look my baby daddy dead in the face. He get up and sprint out the side gate. I'm like, what's up? What my baby daddy doing here? And she like, oh, I'm so sorry. He told me he was gonna tell you. So the first thing I do is swing and hit her in a melee.
Melee? 2 women at 6 months pregnant, swinging?
Says this, and it's probably not what you expect. Language for me is everything, right? How can I tell the level of ghetto we are dealing with? It's based on vernacular. She calls her man of 3 years her baby daddy. And unfortunately, this has become too commonplace to the fact that most of y'all probably didn't even recognize it, right? We have just become used to hearing baby mama and baby daddy, not hearing husband, not hearing wife, not hearing fiance, but instead baby daddy. So we can assume that this is a woman who has essentially gotten pregnant outside of the confines of a stable, committed relationship. That is an assumption, but again, according to her words, I'm already getting that. So I'm creating the foundation for the story here, right? Second thing I'm going to say is this, and it's something I caught at the very tail end, is the response that she had to the situation was to square up with her quote unquote alleged best friend. Right. And we're going to get to the best friend. We're going to do unpacking. But I want to send the foundation to say, look, sis obviously went through quite a traumatic situation. But let's not forget that in more cases than not, when we get ourselves into some shite, it's usually because we do not either pick up red flags or we are so used to dysfunction that the red flags seemingly appear to be green flags on the play, and we just continue to move forward, right? So at the end, she said she squared up to her homegirl at the baby shower. Okay. Conflict resolution here. Now, I know most of us, if we're in a situation, we may not know exactly what we would do, right? But not everybody is going to square up, let alone with that person. If you are somebody who is rationally focused, rationally minded, I guess you would say, if you're somebody who is emotionally stable, you're going to have enough self-respect to just leave the situation. You're done with her, you're done with him. Simple as that. You're not even going to play that game. You might snap, you might pop off, whatever it is. Or you might approach the man who lied directly in your face, right? Who is supposedly supposed to be your man of 3 years, as opposed to the person that he's fooling around with, right? I've never understood this thing of a person going, AWOL towards the person that the partner cheated with. Now, of course, this is her friend, so it is a little nuanced in that point, but I've never understood that. Why is it that you direct your animosity towards the person that they're cheating with and not your actual partner? Your partner is the one who made a decision to step out on your relationship, right? So anyway, I am assuming that this is indeed a ratchet, to use an archaic old term. This is a ratchet situation, a ratchet ass situation. This is Ghettonomics 101. That's what we're dealing with here. We're not dealing with your run of the mill kind of square everyday sort of situation. At least I hope not. So that being said, let's get into the dynamics of this friendship. I've always said that the people that you surround yourself with are always going to have the greatest impact on your life, starting with the person that you lay up with. That's number one, right? They're going to have the most impact on your life experience. And then the person you give, obviously, the most attention to outside of those confines. So the people that you call friends, best friends, family, etc., these individuals have a direct line of influence into your life. So vetting these people is not even in question. It is a necessity. It is a requirement. And I say, God honest truth, everybody is on they're on a lifetime trial. Like, my trust for you goes as far as how you show up. If you break that trust, you have essentially broken the trust. So I show up in a relationship, and if I start to show that I'm somebody other than who I profess to be, I would hope that you would question those things, if not separate yourself. And unfortunately, many of us find ourselves in relationship dynamics, friendships, whatever, where there are red flags, where we see the signs, but we say, you know what? They weren't this person before. Well, they showed up different before. Every day is judgment day, including with myself. Every day. You know, it's like driving a car. You can have a perfect track record for 10 years. All it takes is one moment. One split second for you to get into a situation, a complete car wreck, etc. And that is going to have a stain on your driving record. And God forbid, even worse happens than that, right? So you must always remain attentive. So let's just assume that this woman right here is a loyal woman. She's a trustworthy individual. She's a loyal friend. She is an upright citizen, and whatever it is. She is befriending the sort of individual who would, first of all, have one night stands. Now, again, the fact that that type of statement isn't even controversial shows us where we are as a society, right? Where that's just commonplace. Yeah, you know, things happen, whatever. No, things don't just happen. This is obviously an individual who is sleeping around, and her friend at least knows that she is the type of person who would just lay up with somebody unprotected and end up pregnant. We have to look at the facts here, folks. This is the degenerate culture that I speak of. You know, this is why I go in. Sometimes I think folks think I'm just making things up. Like, it's just, you know, it's fantasy. But the real ones know, because y'all see it in y'all households. Unfortunately, you know, you probably saw it in your family, the ones you separated yourself from, those you may have been friends with before, whatever it is. As you're figuring out life, you start to realize, wait a minute, this is a whole lot of toxicity. I need to separate myself from these elements. Y'all have seen just how dysfunctional things can get when people are given over to this sort of mentality. But I digress. Back to the point at hand. So you have the best friend who is essentially professing that she is pregnant. She doesn't know who the father is, which means that she is laying up with a multitude of guys randomly, willy-nilly, and happenstance. That is disgusting. It's disgusting. If you are, as a man or a woman, laying up with whoever, whenever, indiscriminate, unprotected, on top of that, that is disgusting. And it is a display of who you are. We cannot separate the individual from the way in which they act habitually. How they show up time and time again is who they are. Simple as that. So this argument of, well, we don't want to judge. No, we judge. Over here on this side, we judge. We use our discernment, and we look at a situation, and we judge it according to the facts and the evidence that are presented. So you have a friend who is indulging in these sorts of behaviors. You probably have a friend who is willing to do that to somebody else, right? There are some women who will be friends with other women who will lay up with, sleep with married men. And you think to yourself, well, I don't like the behavior, but that's not me. And then you also are foolish enough to think that they wouldn't do that to you as well. My father taught me a very important lesson early in life. He said, a liar is a thief is an unaliver, right? A person who is willing to lie to your face is likely willing to steal from you. A person who's willing to steal from you is willing to do much worse to you. That's why even for me, I don't befriend men who are cheating on their girls. Men who are not faithful to the relationships that they claim to be faithful to, right? I will cut you off. I will never talk to you again. If I even catch the inkling that you are stepping out on a woman that you have professed to love, or on the man that you have, I'm not even going to deal with you, right? Because you are the type of person who will backstab the person that you have made this declaration to. What the hell are you going to do to me? How the hell am I going to trust you around anything I got going on? A liar is capable of stealing from you, and a person who's willing to steal from you, their moral compass is already fractured. So I'm going to assume, maybe that's an assumption. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. I'd rather jump to that conclusion. I don't want disingenuous, dishonest people around me. As simple as that. Even if it means that I own, my circle small as a Cheerio, which it basically is. I am perfectly okay with that. I'd rather not be surrounded. I don't need people to validate me. I really don't. I don't need it. I don't need it. Simple as that. I don't need random people to surround me in order for me to feel like I'm a somebody. I really don't give a damn. I do this because I love to do this. I put this information out there. I'm in my gift and my purpose. But whether or not you like me, honestly, I could give less of a damn about. That's the God honest truth. Right? I got love for you and I hope the best for you, but that's not my business, how you really feel about me. So that being said, you have chosen to be friends with somebody who has a fractured moral compass. And I'm talking directly to this woman in the video as if she were in front of me right now. So you decided to befriend this type of person. You also decided to be in a relationship with a dude who, first and foremost, is as committed to you as baby daddy. Right? Maybe, you did choose. Y'all both chose that. Right? We're not going to take away any onus on anybody in this situation. So, the brother in this situation, or not brother because he's not my brother, the man, the guy, the male adult in the situation, right? It is more than likely that he had plenty of red flags that he showed early, that he showed in the middle, and that he showed towards the end of this relationship. It is more than likely that you knew that this dude was not to be fully trusted. Maybe you saw things that weren't to do with relationship, but outside. Like sometimes, women will see a dude who, let's say they believe is a bad boy, dangerous. Oh my God, that dude right there is going to one day turn that danger inward. It's going to be in the household. So you see a dude who likes to fight. You think one day he's not going to put the Beats by Dre on you? A dude who's always angry, hostile, trying to get his anger out on folks. You think that's sexy. One day, those hands are going to meet in the household. So you see certain characteristics. Oh man, look at him. He's real good with, he finessed me, how he talked to me, boom, boom, boom. You might have laid up with him the first time you met him, whatever it is, right? There was no level of commitment. Did not put a ring on your finger. Nope. He put a baby in you, but not a ring on your finger. I don't know how many other babies this man has. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe you were the first person that he's having a child with. But the reality is he's an indiscriminate individual. He's willing to lay up with your friend. And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, these sorts of individuals show characteristics throughout the way. I'm not saying that people can't be narcissistic, sociopath, psychopathic, etc., and hide certain things, but there are cases when we don't want to see what's in front of us. We want what we want. Maybe it's desperation, loneliness. Maybe you have some sort of complex. Maybe you have some sort of resonance that is a trauma bond. I don't know what it may be for you specifically, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to see who a person is. They're going to show you their true colors, and likely you overlook them because you simply want what you want. I can't see her as a full victim, because how do you end up with a best friend who was capable of doing what she does, and a man who's capable of doing what he does, if you yourself are just a perfect saint? And I already know there's no perfect saintlyhood because we're human, but secondly, because we're dealing with somebody who the first thing they did was to square up with homegirl at the damn baby shower and give it a bop, bop, put the beats on her, right? Again, I wouldn't react. Maybe you would, right? Maybe you're emotionally mature, but you would still put the beats on them. For me, when I'm in situations like that and I've been betrayed or whatever it is, I clock the T, as they say, and I get to step in. I got too much respect for myself to even fight over this situation. You ain't even worth my time. You're not worth my energy. You're not worth my presence, period. If I find out that you are trifling, there's no conversation that has to be had. I promise you that. I will cut the cord off as fast as you showed up in my life. Gone. There is no conversation to be had. There's no, I don't need closure. I'm sorry, I did X, Y, and Z. You showed me exactly who you are, and I move forward and I say, I need to choose better people around me. I need to stop enabling ratchet behavior around me. I promise you, if this woman was best friends for years with somebody who can come up to you and say with a serious face, well, I'm pregnant, but I don't know who the baby daddy is. If you're dealing with that type of individual, you have already found yourself in the ghetto culture, right? That's the God honest truth. That is just pure, unadulterated ghetto. Rat shit. That is 304 culture. That is a streetwalker that you have befriended. The only difference is she's likely not getting paid for it. She's just spreading them for a little bit of attention. That's what you're dealing with. So when you end up with her having secret baby showers and the quote unquote baby daddy is showing up, I know there's situations. People have been through a lot of things where, wifey or hubby or whoever's at the workplace and they're having a work husband, work wife, they're having all types of affairs in the workplace, whatever it is, right? I know these things happen. And it's disgusting and it's heartbreaking, and there's no excuse for infidelity ever. There is never an excuse for it. It's not a mistake. You did it on purpose. You're just mad that there are consequences. You're just upset, frustrated, heartbroken, quote unquote, because there are consequences to the actions that you chose to participate in. I have a zero tolerance policy for it. Whoever you are, right? Starts with me. And it ends with everybody else. I really don't care for any excuses whatsoever. So if you're on the other side, I'm sorry that, so many people had to go through that. But in this situation, you surrounded yourself with ratchets. And so my advice is, sis, find a better way to vet, maybe get therapy or whatever is necessary. Heal from whatever you got to heal from, so you stop building these trauma bonds with people. If you are having baby daddies and having this baby daddy drama and it's normalized, it means that you likely come from a culture that is promoting this sort of mentality. I didn't say a race, because it's not a race thing. It is a cultural thing. You need to separate yourself from this culture. Otherwise, you will continue to get the very same result. What did Einstein say? He said, insanity, or the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Keep playing ratchet games, keep winning ratchet prizes. Simple as that. So yeah, this is a completely nutty story. And the fact that these types of stories exist in plethora is insane, but they are moments for us to really reflect. Like when I see stuff like that, I don't go, oh my God, I can't trust it. I'm just like, look, I got to make sure that I'm on all 10, and I got to vet everybody around me. I don't care what it's about. Business partners. I done been in partnerships where, somebody was either shady or somebody was not putting in 50%, 60%, 70%, 80% of the type of work I'm putting in. They were putting in 5, 10, 15% total. So we're supposed to be 50-50 partners. You're getting 50% of the payment, but I am putting up 80, 90% of the work. But I didn't do my research. I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't look at how this person moves through life. I jumped into it too fast, right? I was too anxious, too desperate for the opportunity. I didn't actually vet the individual. I didn't actually put stipulations in place, put a contract in place that would say, this is how we gonna move. Like this woman in this situation, again, there was no commitment, really. There was no real commitment. There was no ring that was put on your finger. This person didn't promise. They didn't vow, right? They played you in your face and you likely allowed it. I don't know what else this woman has done. I'm not going to make any assumptions off of that unless, things come out. But as far as what I know, this man he committed to you in word. He was capping you, which is very unfortunate because that should be enough. But you're going to walk away from that situation with essentially nothing besides now a child that you're going to raise, hopefully not in spite, and hopefully that child doesn't have to go through the trauma of a jaded mother who is now trying to take the anger out on the father of this child. I pray that that's not the case, but all you essentially got out that situation was now that, right? Broken home in essence. A ring would have at least said that you are married, which means that to hell, there's something that's going to come about this situation. Unless you were taking care of the man, then again, I don't know what to tell you. You didn't chose yourself, as they call it, a Pookie or Ray Ray or whatever it is. That's on you. That's on you. You didn't chose somebody that you got to take care of, somebody that's running around like a child. That's a decision that you made, and you got to live with the decisions that you make. And we have to do better. We have to choose better. We have to move better. Simple.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3, 6, 5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising. They see your light shine, that's why they so frustrated. Even the sofa in Nova Scotia will win the bagels. I couldn't get them ease on the grease, why they burning up. Money growing trees,